identity of Uganda, creating lasting value in Uganda's oil journey.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or gift.
Get freaky too. Dial *100*0# to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial *100*0#. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial *100*0# to get started.
Airtel. A reason to imagine.
Sebo
Wanji
eno ye biiriyo
ekiki
okebera malaria omutwalo gumu obujjanjabi bwonna emitwalo 10 engeri gye twamutaddeko eccupa.
musawo tosobola kunsalirako nga sinaleeta mukyala wange wano sente zonna nazikozesa mugula eddagala mu zifamasi n'ebihabu ebitaakoze.
Naye mukulu gavumenti yagaba obutimba bw'ensiri gwabo mu makaago tebabusulamu.
Obutimba bw'ensiri twabufuna naye kati bajjamu ebituli tetumanyi kye bukolera.
Kuuma ab'omu makaago obutakwatibwa musujja gwa nsiri ng'otunga obutimba bwo buli obujjamu ebituli okutangira ensiri. Kakasa nti obutimba bwo obusibira waggulu buli ku makya ate towanikako kintu kyonna okwewala okubwonoona. Kakasanga nti buli omu mu makaago asula mu katimba k'ensiri obudde kawubeere nga bunyogovu oba nga bwa bbugumu okuba kuma obutakwatibwa musujja gwa nsiri. Bwe tukwatira awamu tusobola okugoba omusujja gw'ensiri mwibala. Obubaka buno obukutuusibwako minisitule y'ebyobulamu ng'eyambibwako Global Fund.
Juko.
Yo.
Check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Haven't you heard of the Parish development model PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, Sebatia. It is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a poultry project, and now things are moving.
Juko. I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The Parish development model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better. PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or gift.
Get freaky too. Dial *100*0# to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial *100*0#. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial *100*0# to get started.
Airtel. A reason to imagine.
Welcome back at 31 minutes past 8 o'clock. News Tonight continues. The chairperson of the Health Service Commission, Pius Okong, has spearheaded a significant meeting aimed at addressing critical healthcare challenges. The event brought together directors, human resource personnel, and stakeholders from various institutions to deliberate on crucial issues affecting healthcare in the country. The central focus of the meeting was to unveil the new framework for the utilization of the public service resources, particularly within local government, and supportive efforts in the healthcare sector.
Key aspects discussed included the allocation of resources and the strategic placement of health workers within hospitals. The chairperson of the Health Service Commission, Okong Pius, says the Health Service Commission is entrusted with the management of hospital equipment, infrastructure, and appointments to health-related positions at both state and local government levels.
Acknowledge and thank the government for approving new structures for health institutions, both in central government and local government. But there are challenges in the implementation, so all the accounting officers have been recommended and have understood to stay implementing, because there will be a technical working group that will be analyzing the challenges with implementing it, which will resolve these issues in the next 4 weeks, and then we'll see the way to go forward.
The chairperson elucidated a merit-based approach that prioritizes internal candidates while also welcoming external applications, thus ensuring transparency and equal opportunities.
Then there are 4 hospitals, Kawembe National Referral Hospital, Entebbe Regional Referral Hospital, Kayonga and Yumbe, that have very few staff who were moved from local government or the parent institution to work in those hospitals when they were upgraded. The numbers are this small. So again, we are going to have a write-up so that we can present to government to have affirmative action for them so that they are able to recruit and come close to where the others are, because the public doesn't understand.
The chairperson, Uganda Nurses and Midwives Council, Elizabeth Namukombe Ekong, thanked the commission for its role in the recruitment of health workers.
As the stakeholders or as professionals, we are late because we don't understand how the systems work. But it is our responsibility to orient, to teach, to induct our fellow health professionals on how this recruitment exercise runs.
Concern about efficient equipment distribution was raised, where it was clarified that equipment distribution falls under the jurisdiction of the Minister for Health. The meeting produced a comprehensive plan to ensure smooth transitions and avoidance of disruptions in healthcare services.
The issue of deployment is key. We've seen deployments going on, but the deployments have names. I mean, the minutes that come from the Service Commission to the Minister of Health, they have names of people who have been appointed, but they do not have their telephone numbers.
The entry-level approach was also outlined to envision fresh graduates entering the job market through entry-level positions, allowing them to gain practical experience while fostering their professional growth. The meeting underscored the Health Service Commission's resolute commitment to enhancing healthcare services through strategic recruitment and judicious resource allocation. Sudat Kaye, UBC News.
Now, over 50,000 girls and women are to benefit from the recently launched pad mini manufacturing plant aimed at keeping girls in school. The initiative is to help combat periodic poverty in the country with funding from Randall Charitable Foundation in partnership with Uganda Red Cross. Let's hear more in this report.
They are holding a scissor and officially entering the manufacturing plant.
Menstrual hygiene is vital to the empowerment and the well-being of women and girls worldwide. It is against this backdrop that Uganda Red Cross Society, with funding from Randall Charitable Foundation, has set up a mini manufacturing plant to produce reusable pads for girls and women in Mukono district. The move is aimed at ensuring women and girls live in an environment that values and support their ability to manage their menstruation with dignity.
According to Menstrual Health, the girls that cannot support themselves with the menstrual pads, you are talking of around 5 million. Those who struggle would even have no means to get the pads. Now, we know there are other players in the market, but for us, our target is to make sure that every girl in that population I've mentioned who needs a pad really gets it.
The challenges that girls have when they don't have sanitary pads. And we decided to make them reusable sanitary pads on the basis that for one pack of the pads, which will allow the girl to use these for 1 year. So they're reusable, they can be washed, and of course they allow the girl to go to school.
The plant will be able to produce 200,000 reusable sanitary pads annually. It will also create skilled employment opportunities for vulnerable girls and women who will be trained to make and market the pads and ensure sustainability for the facility.
It gives us chance as the Red Cross to make money that also can be used to supplement the other related activities around menstrual pads. Talk about promoting hygiene, talk about the first aid we referred to, bring on board the girl child, the sanitary facilities.
The Director, Basic and Secondary Education and Sports, Mulindwa Ismail, noted that the plant will directly address the missing education opportunities for girls due to poor sanitary protection during their period.
It often leads to absenteeism, of course, and poor performance in schools. If you calculate the number of days a girl under menstruation is out of school, if it's not supported, it impacts greatly on her performance because she will miss quite a lot during those days when she's kept at home managing the menstruation. But when we have this kind of facility, now we are sure our girls are going to be supported, are going to be provided for, and therefore they will be attending all the days like the boy child, and they will not have a challenge in terms of losing out on what they are supposed to cover.
Keep a Girl in School is a menstrual health management initiative spearheaded by the Ministry of Education and Sports, and it was launched in 2019 and emphasizes the need for girls to stay in school even when they are in their monthly cycle. Zahara Abigaba, UBC News.
Now, all higher institution owners and heads have been called upon to front the issue of providing quality education to the learners in order to meet the standards of the required job market. State Minister for Higher Education, John Chrysostom Mohingo, made this call at the handover ceremony of the Uganda Private Health Training Institutions Executive Committee in Kampala.
Under the new set policies by the Ministry of Education, higher institutions of learning proprietors have been asked to abide by the governing laws in order to provide up-to-standard education.
The Ministry continues to work on the policies and the strategic plans and the guidelines for delivery of quality education and training in Uganda. We agree on the law. My dear investors in health training, we want quality. We want quality. That's my prayer. We want quality. Whatever you do in the institutions, make sure that it is according to the law of the country. We want you to operate or to do anything that's outside the law. I love your services, but I appreciate it much more if whatever you do is within the law.
With the health sector being a critical one, the new Executive Committee of the Uganda Private Health Training Institutions is urged to adapt to the technology-friendly mode of teaching.
Continue exposing yourselves to the latest technologies. Things are changing so fast. We should not be left out. Don't pass out products that are wanting. Don't pass out to the market products that are not moving with the modern times. So invest in the acquisition or in the understanding of the latest technologies. These people are going to work, are going to compete with those from Kenya, Tanzania, from all over Africa. We have opened the door to this market of ours. They need to be very well equipped.
However, Uganda Health Training Institutions Association leaders pointed out the need to strengthen the capacity of health centers and hospitals in order to provide an efficient training environment for the students.
I will give you an example of serious members of staff in the hospital. 2, equipment and materials for practical training is always not enough. So this is actually an appeal mainly to the Ministry of Health to ensure that they strengthen the capacities of these hospitals and health centers, so that when our students go there, they are really hands-on.
The incoming Executive Committee of Private Health Training Institutions covers members from different private health training schools across Uganda. Marion Awori, UBC.
Thank you very much there, Marion Awori. Now, Minister of State for Environment Beatrice Nyar has highlighted the need for civil society organizations and other players in the environment conservation sector to work with communities if the conservation crusade is to yield desired results. citing indigenous knowledge as a magic bullet in the conservation campaign. Anwar underscored the fact that once locals are supportive to the struggle, chances of it succeeding are enormous. On his part, Dr. Akankasa Barirenga, the Executive Director of the National Environment Management Authority, NEMA, advised the importance for government to convert wetlands into ecological parks, a venture he believes will reach beyond average as regards to curbing the encroachment. Now, while promoting environmental conservation, all this was during the event where the Uganda Biodiversity Fund, hosted by stakeholders in the environment sector, to Lanchion as she marked the 7th anniversary since inception.
We need to develop business models for these resources so that they can demonstrate economic benefits.
Indigenous knowledge plays a very important role in natural resource management in our country, most especially in our communal areas. You should always remember that knowledge is the basis of our local technologies, innovations, skills, and beliefs. Uniting our local people to conserving our natural resources. During these celebrations, I invite everybody, both government and the private sector, to work together to avoid the looming massive wave of species extinctions in our country and on our planet. We should therefore aim at conserving and saving our varied species on Earth so as to guarantee the continued existence of man on this planet.
A heavy hailstorm has left property worth millions destroyed in Pachwa Sub-County, Kagadi District. The disaster, which lasted for over 2 hours, started around 5 p.m. Living crops, animals and buildings, including schools and churches, badly destroyed. Some of the schools that got destroyed included Kahuniro Primary School, Pride Mixed Primary School, and a community hall at Pachwa Model Primary School. Others that felt the brunt of the hailstorm were churches, commercial buildings, and electric poles were also brought down by the heavy winds. Several families were left homeless after the storm and are now calling on the Ministry of Disaster to come to their rescue.
yange kwenda kukinga no kusakara agiona mpweriwe tinyine kinti yaham kandi kakubebere hikiro kwayiga mbanya kugitira nukumfuna mu sente gibite beta kezire
kubararia abantu ndeho bafune ebitabo saze ntinyine nekyo kutunda no kuri amti bari muna katakuri nakam.
Uganda has joined the rest of the world to commemorate this year's Lions Day with a call on Ugandans to protect wild animals for increased tourism revenues. According to the Wildlife Campaign Manager at the World Animal Protection, Edith Kabesime, African governments have not strengthened the wild protection and conservation, leading to the increasing threats of the beasts.
The mighty lion, the king of the jungle's pride, is reducing day by day. Human activity on the natural biodiversity and climate change are part of the major causes.
There's a lot of encroachment into the habitat for some of this wildlife, whereby people, because of poor land use policy, people are encroaching into the habitat where some of these lions are, or within their migratory corridor.
Yeah, actually the roar for me is a symbol of their strength, is a symbol of their resilience, and especially when they're in captivity, it is an alarm, a call for requesting to be released so that they can really enjoy their wild. Yeah.
According to Gladys Chaka, stage name Moonlight Owl, the plight of lions makes her labor day and night to come up with different poems to educate Ugandans.
It takes time to research really, and that has to come with not only you being passionate about your art and having the talent, but studying about the things that you're writing for.
This was part of the activities to mark this year's Lion Day, held under the theme End Wild Animal Captivity. The day was characterized by performances in remembrance of the King of the Jungle, with many artists and students teaming up at the National Cultural Center in Kampala.
A charity case on National Geographic Channel. Their prides are not filled with pride but fear. Of men and women, little ones with pictures and images running in our minds like movies.
The wildlife campaign manager at the Wild Animal Protection, Edith Kabesime, is worried that the population of lions is likely to dwindle more if Uganda does not strengthen measures to protect them.
We have around a couple of lions, a few in Queen Elizabeth, less than 100, because some 4 or 5 years ago we killed almost 5% of our lions. All these savannas, national parks and the game reserves, they are basically empty.
Kabesime is irked further by the increasing number of animal zoos on the African continent, saying these have greatly contributed to the abuse of animal rights.
Zoos such as the Uganda Wildlife Education Center are important places for where those animals can receive treatment and they can be their health can be restored, their welfare can be restored, and that is very important. But when zoos become commercial, that their main objective is to exploit wild animals, then we speak against them.
According to the International Union for Conservation of Nature, the number of lions in Uganda is currently about 210, with the entire African population at less than 20,000 lions. Animal rights advocates say Uganda lion population is worryingly too low and that it is against the law of nature for nations like Uganda to support importation of these wild beasts.
These lions, those genes escape into the so-called the brown lions, the normal lions. Then here we are having what we call gene pollution. So, and of course that can have repercussions in terms of, we are not sure what that can cause to the other populations.
Dennis Igoa and Douglas Setumba for UBC News.
Well, thank you very much there, Dennis Sigo. Now, Kakumiro PDM beneficiaries have received an electronic mobile payment innovation system dubbed Wendy to help them access PDM funds from financial institutions with ease. The launch of the Wendy app, innovated by Post Bank in collaboration with Airtel Uganda, was officiated by the State Minister for Kampala, Kabuye Chofa Togabye. He was representing the Prime Minister, Robina Nabanja.
An electronic mobile payment innovation system dubbed WND, innovated by Post Bank in collaboration with Airtel Uganda to help in the easy access of PDM funds from financial institutions with ease, has been launched. The app is going to assist all beneficiaries of Parish Development Model Program access funds on their mobile phone without incurring transport and bank charges. The innovation of Wendy mobile system will be rolled throughout the country.
Mechanism of transferring the money to the beneficiary, but with minimal costs, and that's what they call it Wendy. Wendy means I'm here, so you can now receive your money where you are.
While launching the app, State Minister for Kampala, Kabuye Togabye, revealed that a total of 11.3 billion shillings has been allocated for Kakumiro district, of which a total of 3.5 billion has already been received by the 105 parish circles in Kakumiro district.
There was also an outcry of the too much paperwork to our people. You know the kind of people you're talking about. These are just Bawejere. And every time there was too much paperwork, which the president wasn't happy with.
Julius Kaketo is the managing director, Post Bank. The executive director, Airtel Uganda, Japheth Aritho, says the new innovation is going to bring on board many people and ensure that all beneficiaries of PDM access funds without any difficulties.
And when you talk about applications, then you ask yourself for the people with a phone that is not a smartphone.
Grace Batalingaya, the Kakumiro Vice Chairperson, and Major Retired David Matovu, the Kakumiro Resident District Commissioner, thanked President Museveni for appointing Premier Nabanja and Fred Biamukama to start development in Kakumiro.
I want to assure you, we shall not shame our president because he has given us all having a big chair.
Some of the beneficiaries of Parish Development Model Program welcomed the new innovation.
And in talking news, MTN has improved on their data voice bundles. You can now call across all networks for the same price. We've talked to several eyewitnesses on the ground, and this is what one of them had to say. Amos, did you hear about the MTN daily voice bundles? So, to join many more other Ugandans enjoying these MTN daily voice bundles, dial *100 *21# or use the My MTN app to start enjoying. Stay tuned for more offers from MTN.
Now let us step into the world of business where the climate crisis is not a future threat. It is threatening the livelihoods of so many communities in a low and middle income country. TAD Foundation, a Ugandan organization, is championing the Uganda youth contribution into the just transition conservation with an intention of empowering them to shape a brighter tomorrow. Dennis Sigor has more.
And it says, when I first heard about climate change, I was filled with fear and rage, pointing at each and every cause and mostly disappointed in humanity. How could we be so greedy and selfish? But as
This is Grace Ninsima, a climate change champion, author and member of the Little Earth Soldiers. At 8 years, Ninsima is already in the front line, championing the just transition agenda and encouraging children to take keen interest in climate change issues.
And this book was meant mostly to teach children and also adults, because I believed that climate change is not only for the elites. And I got support from my fellow Little Earth Soldiers, like the one who was here. Yeah, my fellow Little Earth Soldiers and my parents support, people who fund, yeah.
So I'm so sure this is your favorite paragraph inside the book, isn't it so? Can you? She's among the participants at the Just Transition Summit in Kampala, organized by TAD Foundation. The summit seeks to empower youth to take action and join the accelerating journey of building a sustainable and equitable world.
We hope to have breakout sessions, more like workshop sessions, with different groups discussing and putting together that which we shall, add in the youth declaration. And this youth declaration still will be representing the youth voice when it comes to a Just Transition Summit.
Africans are not so much included, so we are always excluded. So it is that we African youth, we have no option because we don't control these global systems, but we have to do everything we can to see that we sensitize our fellow youth, we sensitize our public.
Just transition is a powerful concept that lies at the heart of tackling climate change while promoting social equality.
That countries like Uganda need to focus on less polluting development agenda. However, this is not sufficient to think that low developed countries should not necessarily pollute without addressing the key ills of what other global economies have depended on to thrive. And therefore, as we have this just transition conversation, our partners should be very serious about availing facilities to fund adaptation, but also to reparatively contribute to loss and damage.
As the world strives to transition to a low-carbon economy, there is an appeal for youths to be involved in the conversations and their pertinent views captured. Community engagement is essential for successful transition from fossil fuels and the overdependence on the use of biomass fuels in a developing economy like Uganda. Dennis Igoa for UBC News in Kampala.
The biggest, the baddest East African Christian Marathon is here. Come participate at the East African Christian Marathon for a prayer run on the 13th of August 2023 at the Lugogo Hockey Grounds. Come represent your family at the prayer run and run for a good cause to build the first call center, which will be East Africa's virtual listener. Come for the prayer run alongside your pastors, leaders, representatives from Kenya, Tanzania, Rwanda, Burundi, Congo, South Sudan, and of course Uganda. Participate with Honorable Captain Mike Mukula, who is the chief runner and patron. Do not miss out on this opportunity. Make your donation for your kid now from 20,000, 30,000 and 100,000 Uganda shillings, because runs change the world. For more details, call 0781 885 055 or visit our website at www.eastafricachristianmarathon.org. Proudly sponsored by PKF, UBC, Venro Health, Aquafina, and Moving Preacher.
Into sports, the Uganda ladies volleyball team is bracing for the upcoming African Volleyball Championship in Cameroon. The team is holding its daily training sessions at the International School of Uganda under the watchful eye of their head coach, Tony Lakoni.
Since the last appearance, Uganda's national women's volleyball team will next week return to the African Volleyball Championships. The team that departs on Sunday is in camp at the International School of Uganda Lubowa under veteran coach Tony Lakoni, assisted by former national team stalwart Mariam Nakamanya.
Our realistic targets are, first of all, performing to the best of our abilities. That's the first thing. So if our best takes us to the middle brackets, well and good, but that is very unrealistic. But we want to make sure that we do a foundation, do a foundation that we can be able to compete with when we host the Zone 5 qualifiers for the All Africa Games early next year. So this is something that we're going to use as a springboard for the women's team.
Last time out, Uganda finished 9th with players like Eunice Emuron, Margaret Namyaro, Maureen Mwamura and Habib Namara ready to aim higher.
We have lots of new faces, youngsters on board. 80% of the team are the young girls. Yeah, so it's a great opportunity for most of them to go out there and experience what it is like playing at the African level. Yes, and also it will help us as individuals to grow our game also, and once us as individuals we grow also, we grow the sport eventually. Yes.
The training has been awesome. I've got to play with some players I've wished to play with. They are not in my club, so it is quite an experience. You're learning totally new players. I only have one player who plays on my team, so the other 10 are from other clubs, so it is quite different. I believe we are ready to take on the challenge, and yeah.
Others on the team are Akelo Scholastica, Scovia Alungat, Mbakusimile Supanacho, Joanna Tushemereirwe, Naomi Auma, Jennifer Alungat, Flavia Umuhoza, and Catherine Ainembabazi. The team departs this Sunday for the 14th August 2023 championship, at which 21 countries including highly respected Cameroon, Egypt, Tunisia and Kenya have confirmed participation. John Barnes, Sentamo, UBC.
Well, that's all we had time for. Thank you so much for being a part of us. I'm Patricia Lukomampango and Mugalu Mohammed on Sign Language. Let's meet again at 10 o'clock. Up next is the weather forecast.
NBC, my name is Tessa Milu with your weather update. We are having rainfall dominating most parts of our country, though still other areas are having sunny intervals. This is due to the rainbow that is over us, being pushed with the moist winds that are coming from Congo Air Mass in combination with southeasters, bring us the rainfall that we're experiencing most of these days. Tomorrow morning, though, we expect to wake up with thunder showers dominating most parts of the central part, including our capital city Kampala. We are seeing even thunder included in it, but otherwise the eastern part is also expected to wake up with light showers. Moving to the western stretch, we are seeing sunny intervals dominating most parts of that side, apart from Masindi, where we are seeing a pickup of light showers. The northern sector is expected to have sunny intervals dominating most parts of the Karamoja regions, including Kitgum, but the rest of the parts like Alua, Gulu, and Lila are expected to wake up with light showers. Moving into the central, during the afternoon hours, we are seeing a lot of sunny intervals in the capital city Kampala. The rest of the area with light showers at a maximum of 31 degrees Celsius across Nakasongola and 28 in the capital city Kampala. Going into the eastern part, we are having sunny intervals still dominating most parts of that side. Apart from Salt, we are seeing light showers at a maximum of 31 degrees Celsius and 30 across other parts of the eastern. Western stretch, we are having a pickup of thunder showers dominating most parts of that side. Apart from Kabale, we are seeing sunny intervals at a temperature of 26 degrees Celsius at a maximum of 32 degrees Celsius across Kasese. Northern sector, we are seeing a pickup of thunder showers dominating most parts of it, including the Alua sector at 29 degrees Celsius and 31 Chitugumu 32 across Karamoja regions. Is moving out of Uganda, touring the few cities across the globe. We are forecasting sunny intervals in the neighborhood of Nairobi at a maximum 23 degrees Celsius, Dubai with sunny conditions at a maximum 44 degrees Celsius, and London with cloudy conditions at a maximum 22 degrees Celsius, Kyle with sunny intervals. Thanks for tuning on UBC. My name is Tessa Mili. Stay tuned and see you tomorrow.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
And in talking news,